The Gospel according to Matthew chapter 5. Glory be to you, O Lord. Jesus says, "You have heard that it was said to the people long ago, 'Do not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment.' But I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to his brother, 'Raca,' is answerable to the Sanhedrin. But anyone who says, 'You fool,' will be in danger of the fire of hell. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to your brother. Then come and offer your gift. Settle matters quickly with your adversary who is taking you to court. Do it while you are still with him on the way, for he may hand you over to the judge, and the judge may hand you over to the officer, and you may be thrown into prison. I tell you the truth, you will not get out until you have paid the last penny. You have heard that it was said, 'Do not commit adultery.' But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. It has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, except for marital unfaithfulness, causes her to become an adulteress. And anyone who marries the divorced woman commits adultery. Again, you have heard that it was said to the people long ago, 'Do not break your oath, but keep the oaths you have made to the Lord.' But I tell you, do not swear at all, either by heaven, for it is God's throne, or by the earth, for it is his footstool, or by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king. Do not swear by your head, for you cannot make even one hair white or black. Simply let your yes be yes, and your no, no. Anything beyond this comes from the evil one." This is the gospel of the Lord. Grace, mercy, and peace to you from God our Father, and from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Dear children of God, born, conceived in sin, showing sinfulness in thought, word, and deed throughout your life, and yet made holy by the blood of Christ, brought into his family, made his own. The man on the screen is a man named Michael Madison. Michael was convicted in June of 2016 for killing of 3 young women, sexually assaulting at least one, probably all of them. And his attitude, witnesses say, during his trial was one of mockery. He would mock the families with smiles, with taunts, even to the point that when he was sentenced, one of the fathers of the victims lunged at him from across the courtroom, filled with pent-up anger and emotion that he couldn't control. He lunged at him to try to land a punch. And the look on Michael Madison's face is a smile. The evidence was stacked up against him. There was no sorrow, no remorse for what he had done. And in June of 2016, the judge convicted him of murder and sexual assault and condemned him to death. And this is what the judge said in the ruling. "I am struck by the sheer inhumanity of what one human being can do to not one, but 3 human beings. It is incomprehensible. People who commit the kind of crimes that you have committed must be punished, and must be punished as severely as the law allows. It is absolutely necessary." The judge felt it was necessary to make an example out of Michael, to show that this kind of behavior, taking the life of other people, assaulting other people sexually, it is not okay. You can't do it and get away with it. You can imagine the outcry that would have been there in the courtroom if Michael Madison would have gotten off on some kind of technicality. If he would have been let go because there was a breach in the chain of evidence, or some technicality that didn't nullify his guilt but just got him out. There would have been outrage if he would have gotten off with just a slap on the wrist, a small fine or something like that. If he would have gotten out and he would have moved next door to you, you can imagine that you wouldn't sleep very well at night, especially if you had daughters in the home. God has placed on the hearts of humanity a sense of justice. That when a person does something like this, they deserve to die. God says in Genesis chapter 9, the man who sheds the blood of another, by man shall his blood be shed. We realize that this is what a person deserves. A man like Michael deserves to die because of what he's done. The judge says it is incomprehensible. The hurt and the pain that he left in the lives of those families and in the victims before they died. The law of our country is different than the law of God. The laws of our country are weighted, right? So that if you murder somebody or you assault someone, that's worse than if you call them a bad name. In fact, you could probably call somebody a bad name without even getting into any trouble whatsoever with the law. But if you assault someone, if you kill someone, they will come after you. The law will come after you. Our laws are weighted. If you're going 30 miles per hour over the speed limit, you get into more trouble than if you're going 3 miles over the speed limit. In fact, some of the laws of our country are weighted so low that you could probably break them in front of a police officer and he wouldn't say anything to you. Right? You could probably jaywalk right in front of a police officer as long as you're not impeding traffic. I don't think he's even going to say anything to you. I'm not saying that you should do that, but you're probably not going to get into any trouble, and even if you would get a fine, it would be very small. The laws of our country are weighted. They have to be. Because the judge cannot read a person's heart. The judge cannot see their attitude. The judge cannot see their motive as to why they did what they did. Now, sometimes it's plain and it's clear, like in the case of Michael, where he's mocking, where he's taunting. He's not remorseful. He's not sorry for what he did. But sometimes people are pretty good at covering up with a repentant, remorseful outside, when in the inside, they just assume go right back to doing the evil that they have been doing before. The laws of our country are weighted, but that's not the way God's law works. Jesus says, "You have heard that it was said, 'Do not murder.' And anyone who does murder will be subject to judgment. But I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment." Jesus just equated murder with anger. Just as bad. That makes me just as bad as Michael Madison. Jesus says, "You have heard that it was said, 'Do not commit adultery.' But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." That makes me just as bad as Michael Madison. The laws of God are different than the laws of our country. The law of God is not weighted that one sin is worse than another. God says, "Whoever keeps the whole law and yet stumbles at just one point is guilty of breaking all of it." I think we would all probably agree that Michael Madison deserved to die for what he did. Now, if God says someone who gets angry is guilty of the same thing, someone who lusts is guilty of the same thing, these are just two of the commandments, then what does that make each and every one of us worthy of? You are that bad. That is what Jesus is saying to the people who are listening to this sermon. You are all that bad. You see, the people in their minds had come to the conclusion that there were some good people and some bad people. And that the bad people, they deserve to die, they deserve to go to hell. And the good people, though they're not perfect, They're good enough. They try hard enough. And Jesus says, no. He says, you are that bad. As bad as the worst criminal you can think of. As bad as the person who's hurt you in your life. The worst. Jesus says, you are that bad too. We're all lumped together by God. Not with some at the top of the pack and some at the bottom. We're all lumped together at the very bottom. Jesus says, if your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out and throw it away. Why? Because he says it would be better for you to do that. It would be better for you to gouge out your own eye than for you to be thrown into hell. That's how real God is about these offenses. Jesus says it would be better for you, if your right hand is going to cause you to sin, it would be better for you to cut it off and throw it away instead of being thrown into hell. It would be better. And yet, even if I had no eyes, no arms, no legs, I still would not be able to get rid of my sin. You are that bad. Sinful enough to die. Sinful enough to deserve the very fires of hell. But Jesus is that good. Jesus is that good that this law, which requires perfection, not only in actions, but also in attitude, in the very thoughts of the heart. Jesus is that good to obey it all. We can't even imagine, can we? Can you imagine that Jesus never got wrongfully angry with someone? Never. There's a couple times where he was filled with righteous anger, but he never wrongly got angry at his brother or sister. Can you imagine never lusting, ever? Somebody said once, Jesus claimed to be the Messiah, the coming king. Can you imagine the women that were throwing themselves at him? Wouldn't you like to marry the king? Never once did he lust. Not once. Never once was he greedy. Never once did he have even a selfish thought. Not even one time. We can't not even imagine that because our hearts are naturally sinful. So those sinful thoughts, they're automatic, aren't they? They happen without us even wanting them to. Jesus is born with a good heart. A truly good heart. A heart that no human being has had since Adam and Eve before the fall in sin. Jesus was born with a truly good heart. A heart which led him to serve and honor his God and Father. A heart which led him to pure and perfect obedience in every single aspect of God's command. Jesus was that good. You and I were that bad, but he was that good. Not only to obey, but to do it for us. To do it for you and I. We who had sinned so horribly, so horrendously against him. Like Michael Madison. There would be no surprise if there was this cry for justice. That my blood would be shed. That I would suffer in hell. That would be no surprise. That would be no shock. But Jesus came for the worst sinners. And you and I. Why did he do that? He did that because he loved you and he wanted to save you. The Apostle Paul says this in 1 Timothy chapter 1. He says, here is a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. And this saying applies to you and I too. Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am the worst. Paul doesn't say, I used to be the worst. He says, I am, present tense, a sinful nature that he fights with, that he struggles with every single day. A heart that is by nature evil, that shows itself He came to save the worst sinners. And that's you. That's me. But for that very reason, I was shown mercy so that in me, the worst of sinners, Christ Jesus might display his unlimited patience to those who believe. I need to hear that. Don't I? Because day after day, I fall into sin. Day after day, my conscience cries out, you're guilty, you deserve death, you deserve hell. I need to hear that God's patience for those who believe is unlimited. There's no limit of sin at which God's patience runs out. There's no limit of sin where God says, I've had enough with you. I'm done. God's patience for sinners, God's patience to those who believe in him is unlimited. God is that good. He's so good that he is willing to forgive it all. And he's done it. It's finished. As those who've been forgiven by Christ, as those who've been made new by Jesus and given a new spirit, a spirit which loves God, a spirit which recognizes reality that I'm sinful and that for those sins I am the worst. A spirit that recognizes that God's law is good. That God gives me his law because he loves me, because he wants to protect me from harm and danger, the harm and danger of the world, the harm and danger of Satan. That he gives me his law so that I might in love serve and obey him. Paul says in Ephesians 4, put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires. So that old self that loves sin, and that's a lie, right? God says those sins, they're not good for you. The sins that your nature loves, they're not going to help you. They're not going to advance you in this life. Paul says, put that off. God has revealed to you the truth that that's bad. That hurts you. That's death. God's law is good. Put off the old self, which is being corrupted, to be made new in the attitude of your mind. To be made new in the newness which God gives you in Christ. The newness which God brings to you, a breath of fresh air that he gives in the forgiveness that is assured to you. And in that assurance of forgiveness, in that assurance of belonging, he made new. You see, God reveals to us a law that is good. A law that says greed is bad. Greed's going to hurt you. It's going to lead you to do foolish things in your life. God reveals to us a law that is good. A law that says anger is going to hurt you. Anger is going to drive people from your life. It's going to make you and others miserable. God reveals to us in his law that not just adultery is bad, but lust is bad. It's going to hurt you. It's going to warp your mind. It's going to twist your view. It's going to hurt your spouse. It's going to hurt your marriage. God reveals to us that selfishness is bad. It's not what he's created us to do, to serve ourselves. He's created us to serve others. God reveals all that to us. The sinful nature has a hard time. In fact, the sinful nature doesn't believe. Sinful nature doesn't believe. Put that off. Right? Put off the lies that the sinful nature tells. Put on the new self, which recognizes that God and his law is good. God must be good if he gives his son for me. God must be generous and kind and loving and forgiving if he gives Christ over into death to take away my sin. I don't think there'd be very many people who would argue against the death penalty for a guy like Michael Madison. But the truth is that if people really knew my heart, my sinful heart, there wouldn't be many who would argue against the death penalty for me. I am that bad. But Jesus is that good. That good to save the worst sinners. That good to obey God's law in all its fullness. To give his life innocent sacrifice for sin. God is that good to save you and I, to show his mercy and his kindness, so that we are made new by Jesus. Amen.